Hi, everyone. Nikolai here from the Financial Commission with you once again for our monthly complaints digest, where we talk about our monthly operating metrics and give you an update on how we're doing with resolving complaints. If you recall, our March complaint summary was actually published last Wednesday on April 7th. And today we'll go over our statistics for March of 2021. I'm happy to report that month over month from February to March, our new filed complaints increased about 18% to 119 new complaints filed. At the same time, during the month of March, we were able to successfully resolve 148 complaints, which is actually an improvement of about 10% from the previous month. Well, some other things to note, we did experience a drop of about 41% in the amount of monies that was sought from traders in complaints month over month. But we're not very concerned, as these kind of fluctuations are manageable and also understandable, as traders have different types of disputes that are filed every month. Sometimes there are disputes that are of a very high value, and sometimes there are not. So in March of 2021, the total amount that was sought by traders was $913,428. And out of that amount, 268,000 was attributed to complaints that were filed against our actual broker members, and 645,000 was sought from brokers who are not members of the Financial Commission. Now, if we take a look at the 268,000 number, which I just mentioned, and we compare it, that's from March. If we compare it to February, that's actually an increase of 29%. So we have more valuable complaints coming from customers of brokers who are members of the Financial Commission. If we take a look at how much out of all of that money that was requested was actually paid out to traders in complaints ruled in favor of clients, we see that that number for March is 39,201, which is a pretty nice increase of 67% month over month. So we do see a rise in the amount of monies that have been awarded from February to March. In terms of percentages, total amount sought and actual monies paid out to customers, that's roughly a 14 or 15% payout from our end. Obviously, one of our most important metrics is how quickly do we process and resolve complaints. I'm happy to say that month over month, there wasn't really a material change. So in February and really in March, the average resolution time was 8.3 days, which, as I always say, is quite quick and efficient, especially if compared to regulatory bodies around the world and any other organizations around the world that may resolve disputes between brokers and their traders. As some of you know, we also categorize our disputes that we receive, and month over month we saw actually a jump in non-trading complaints. So we had about 44% more non-trading complaints in March as opposed to February. So these could be things like issues with the customer agreement, any kind of bonuses or incentives, and anything else to do with the person's sort of administrative account or trading account at the brokerage. When we look at trading related complaints, so something that is very specific to orders or trades being executed, or customers requesting us to check prices for the trades that they had executed, we actually see also an increase of 17% month over month in the amount of cases that are in that category. So in March, we had 28 trading complaints. We had 35 financial complaints, which again, those deal specifically with withdrawing funds, depositing funds into the account, or any other calculations that are dependent on the customer's funds leaving the account or entering their trading account. And for the non-trading complaints, that total was 56 for the month of March. We also categorize complaints by their value in certain categories: 0 to 100, 100 to 500, etc. And those of you who watch our videos know that I refer to this every month as well. I can say that the highest category in March, again, as it has been for the last previous months, 35% of all complaints were in the category of 0 to 100. But the next biggest chunk of the pie for values was complaints that were valued at $100 to $500. That totaled about 26% of all complaints received in March of 2021. And the next highest category at 25% is actually complaints that are valued between $1,000 and $10,000. So there is quite a big saturation of different values of complaints month over month as we go along. Now, looking at the month over month increase or decrease in some of these categories, the category that changed the most, where there was a significant rise of 48%, was the category of complaints valued between $100 and $500. We also take a look at average complaint value. So out of the total complaints that we received in a month, what was the total value of those complaints, and essentially get an average. That average actually did drop significantly by 62% month over month. So in February, our average complaint value was a little bit over $15,000. And in March, it was closer to about $6,000 with a total of 5,855. At the same time, if we take a look at how many complaints were ruled in favor of brokers or customers or did not have a ruling whatsoever, we see that 95 complaints that were resolved in the month of March were ruled in favor of the broker, 14 complaints were ruled in favor of the customer, and 39 complaints did not have a specified ruling. That could be because there is no actual complaint to be filed after our investigation of the matter that the customer submitted, or the situation may have been resolved between the broker and the client prior to the Financial Commission actually having to issue its own decision. Some of these complaints obviously also relate to brokers who are not members of the Financial Commission, and as such, we cannot rule in favor of one party or another in those type of cases. We also see that in terms of the number of complaints that were filed in March, like I said, there was 119. 96 of those complaints were filed against members of the Financial Commission, and essentially the rest, 20-something complaints, were filed against brokers who are not members of Financial Commission. So in general, we do see an uptrend in some of our key metrics, specifically, new complaints filed. We would expect that this number will probably go up as the months go along and we move into summer. There's quite a bit of market opportunities out there, and we foresee that traders are going to continue to try to take advantage of those market opportunities, especially in markets like equities and CFDs. And we will continue to process complaints as required, and we'll continue to assist traders, as they go through the path of trading with their providers. Now, if you want to take a look at all of the details, there'll be a link in the description of this video below. You'll find a link to the actual report for March 2021, which, like I said, was published on our website last week. So you could take a look at all of the different metrics. And if you ever have any questions, you could always email us. Our email address is also down in the description below the video. And I think after this month, once we get into April statistics and so on, we may take a brief pause in some of these videos that we record on a monthly basis and return sometime in the summer when we'll have a full half year 2021 report for you. In the meantime, I wish everyone health and luck, and hope to see everyone soon. Thank you very much.